This is Stephanie with Sonorous Rising, and you're listening to The Loud Spot with Sebastian.
Oh, no! Oh, boy! Here it comes! The motherfucking Loud Spot! That's right, you're listening to the almighty Hot Zone! Doing the intro to the Loud Spot podcast! You goddamn right! We're doing intros for podcasts now! And if you don't like it, you can suck the entire circumference of my Wayne Tretzky with the squeals and the drops! P1E goes hard till it pops! Cannonball, don't trust a cop! Johnny Spotswood just don't know when to stop! Yeah! And if you don't like it, you better take your ass up to the snooty fox, cause this is the Loud Spot! Okay, see you later.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Loud Spot. I'm your host, Sebastian Cosme, right out of Oklahoma City. Today we have an awesome band, the first band like this to be featured on our podcast. We have Sonorous Rising right out of Waterford, Connecticut. So what is going on? What's going on over there?
Hey!
Hello.
A lot of rain.
Lots of rain.
At least you guys don't have the ice storm like we had over here in Oklahoma. That was absolutely horrible.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah, no, it's not that cold out.
So Stephanie, I want to get with you and tell us a little bit about Sonorous Rising, what your band does, what your guys' style is, and just all that good jazz.
Well, as we spoke before, we are labeled as a ska punk band. That's a very loose label because I think the number one compliment that we get the most is that I've never heard anything that sounds like that before. There's definitely a punk feel to it, but, you know.
See, I would say this, and I know Vinnie says the first time that she's heard someone say that, I would consider it kind of a horror punk rockabilly, but that's only from one song that I've heard, not all of them. So that's just a one-song opinion, but you guys sound really good. When did you guys start?
It's got to be about like 2.5 years ago, but we spent about a year or so just kind of writing stuff and not even playing. So we, it was not this past May, but the May before that is when we kind of did our launch and our first show.
Who started the band?
I think I did. Yeah, well, I've started playing, I've been singing my whole life, but I ended up getting it playing an instrument for the first time. And so with that, it was like, I want to start writing my own tunes. And Vinnie over here, we live together. She's my best friend. And I brought a song to her, and she's like, that's pretty cool. Let's try this. And then she worked with Erik. Erik's like, yeah, I'm a drummer. Let me try out. And God, what a drummer is he.
Oh,
we're like, no, we're keeping you. So.
And then O started, right? And then O's the newest member, the bass player.
He's the new guy.
Sonorous Rising.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Very recent.
How long have you been playing bass for, O?
Throughout this pandemic, I started in June, July, give or take, and I've only done one show with the band thus far. But I got to see them actually at the last show that I played with my former band.
Okay.
Where was that? In Wallingford, right?
Yeah, Cherry Street Station.
And I played a show, and they played after us, and I was just like, I know these people, and this is fucking amazing. I was like, I want to be in this band. And I told Stephanie, or whatever I told you, I was like, your band's amazing. I was like, man, I wish I could play music like that. And then I think she put something on Facebook, and I was like, yeah, I'm not playing bass. Let's do this.
It was my first choice anyways.
So when I first heard you guys play, when I first heard your song, I actually kind of screwed it up on the first podcast I did when I played Scenery. And so I wound up getting a hold of Stephanie, and we actually talked on the phone and recorded that conversation. So I could replay the song that we totally screwed up on. But I remember telling you, your band sounds like it should have it has a theatrical feel to it. Like you guys need people running around with chainsaws cutting off arms when you guys play your songs. Wouldn't that be cool?
I love that. That's amazing.
Yeah, that'd be so cool. So I'm going to ask each one of you a question, but I do want to go ahead and play Scenery right now. This is the first song you guys sent me, and this song drew me to your band. I love the music. I love your personalities, so we're going to go ahead and rock Scenery right now. There was a man who lived so far away. I love that. That song puts me in a good mood. Like, that song puts me in a good mood because it reminds me of just, like, I don't know what the word is for it. It's very, like, I tell a lot of bands they're unique, but honestly, that is the most unique song I've ever heard or that I've played on this podcast, you know? I think it sounds great.
Awesome.
Wow.
Go on, keep flattering us.
It is kind of ska, I guess. Okay, I take it back. But imagine someone with a chainsaw cutting off people's arms. I mean, come on. Like during
the only reason we use kind of ska is because it has that syncopated offbeat rhythm. That's like our influences are from that. But like, no, I'm with you. It's definitely pushes the boundary of that.
It is cool, Orlando. Sorry. I'm not gonna edit that out either. I'm gonna keep this part in there. But you are lucky to be in this band, man. These guys are awesome. I'm happy that you found a home with them.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, Stephanie, you play some different instruments. You play the ukulele.
Yes, it is like a electric guitar ukulele hybrid. So most ukuleles are played in a hollow body and use like nylon strings. So this is a solid body, basically like it's a Telecaster, solid body, 4 strings, steel strings, and tuned like a ukulele. So it's kind of like the cross between the two. And then I throw some distortion on that. So you're not getting that, folksy kind of, pretty ukulele. I'm not playing Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
Tiny Tim.
Yeah, Tiny Tim.
Yeah.
Do you write all the lyrics yourself, or do you have other band members that help influence what the words are to the songs?
No, I am definitely, at least for now, the primary lyricist.
What was your inspiration for Scenery? The words on that song are awesome. Like, there was a man who lived so far away, and like, what's that all about?
Well, I kind of at one point, like I've been in the punk scene for, over 20 years. And at one point, I wasn't really that happy with the direction that the connection was going in, and I started to lose a little bit of faith in it. Well, I decided that one night I want to go see the Praise play, which is a pretty famous punk band. I meet the singer. I end up talking to him all night, and he kind of like becomes my mentor in a way. So I'm emailing this guy back and forth, like these long letters, and we're talking about music, and he's telling me stories, and he played with the Devotchkas, the New York Relics, he was the first drummer for the Roger Barrett and the Disasters, he played for the Casualties for a few years, so this guy just kind of reinvigorates my love for the scene, and so that man that lives so far away, Johnny Cray, is that man that lives so far away. Not too far. It's only like 3 hours, but it's not like within walking distance. But yeah, that's the inspiration for that song.
Wow, that's a cool story. So it's good that you can take something that you're going through or living with and be able to put that into a song. That's hard to do. Like, I can't do that, And I was out of the music scene until I started this podcast. Now I'm like all up in the music scene. Like, I jumped right into it. And then Vinnie plays the electric piano, and you do some backup vocals as well, right?
Yeah.
I saw a video on the Sonorous Rising Facebook page where you guys were in your garage, or in someone's garage, and Erik was talking about don't tell him where you lived, or something like that. It was something funny he was saying, like, don't let him know exactly where we are.
What?
Huh?
It was in our basement.
Oh, I remember
it was
this.
one of our live streams.
Oh, yeah.
It was a live. It was a
I was like, garage.
Oh, basement. That's right. Well, you guys do live. I guess there's lots of basements. There's lots of basements in Oklahoma, also.
Yeah, well, that's the practice space. That's Erik's drum kit right there in my piano.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
I want to be in that band too. So
Come join. Shit.
let's see. You also do some backup vocals now.
Yes, I do, where I can.
And Erik, you just play the drums, or do you do backup vocals?
No, yeah, I do backups too. Yeah, for sure.
Cool. And
Yeah.
you started playing the drums when you were 10.
Yeah, just about. I played. My grandmother was the kindest woman in the world to give my mom money to give me drum lessons, and this dude who was running this little drum lesson shop out in Jacksonville, Florida, when I was living there at the time, turned out to be the drummer for a metal band called Ice Earth. Which at the time, I'm 10 years old. I had no idea. He's an amazing drummer, and that band was relatively big, and he was the nicest dude, and he just taught me the basics. And I only was living there for a year, and I ended up moving back to Connecticut and getting a new team that I was with for a while. But he was the person who started me out, and it's just really cool. And that's what I've been doing for the past decade.
That's awesome, man. Oh, how are you enjoying being in the band so far?
It's an absolute thrill. It's an absolute joy. It's the best crew that I've played with in quite a long time.
Awesome. It feels good when you find a home with the band, isn't it?
No, I played in many bands, and I have a lot of good friends that I've played with before. But like I said, it's just like you said, it's different, and it's not just straight up punk rock. It's not straight up hardcore, like all the stuff that I've played before. So it's just something different and something that I've wanted to do for a long time.
Awesome. We're going to talk about the New York hardcore scene and you, but right now I want to play Fracture. and I'm very excited to hear what this song sounds like because I haven't heard it yet. You sent these to me today, and it was like Family Day, you know? So I get to hear it for the first time, and I'm excited about that. So here we go with Fracture. Sonorous Rising. That song is super cool. The piano part at the end there is really badass.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Everything falls apart.
Yep.
What's the story behind Fracture? There's no lyrics to it. I didn't realize that until halfway through the song. What's the story behind it?
So, like, I'm kind of a composer. A lot of my influences come from actually video game composers like Koji Kondo and Nobuo Uematsu. And I'm not much of a lyricist, so like most of the stuff I write is instrumental. She is the main, like she said, she's the main lyricist in this band, and we were trying to like fit lyrics to it, and we had this idea about the tower, like this like tower, like corruption, because we were at fucking Lake Compounds, and we saw this elevator factory, and we're like, oh, it's the tower. It's like I don't know. is just this idea we were having, but we couldn't fit lyrics to it, and I was just like, well, let's just make it instrumental, because I make video game music in my own time.
Yeah, and, you've actually done some European touring, is that right?
Yeah, my last band, Dead City Riot. Yeah, we went to Germany, England, France, and yeah.
That's awesome. That is very, very cool. So Stephanie, what are your guys' plans as far as future shows with Sonorous Rising? Have you guys been able to play concerts right now? Are you guys waiting? What's the plan?
Well, during October, we had the ability to play 2 shows outdoors, socially distanced. Nice. Like, we were sitting at tables, so there's really no social mingling. But it's kind of like I feel like it's a dinner theater sort of setup.
Yeah,
really
that's what it felt like.
Show, because you're used to people being up, in the stage, in front of the stage, and feeding off that energy. So it's a little different playing that. But I guess for the winter, we'll definitely do some live streams. And once the spring starts up again, we're hoping there's some more outdoor, some outdoor shows that.
Is it harder for you guys to because a lot of bands, you feed off each other's energy when you're on stage, right? But you also feed off of the crowd, crowd's energy. So when the crowd's not right there, being able to maybe just rock out, start a mosh pit or whatever to your music, does it make it a little bit less enjoyable, or is the energy not there as much?
Can I? As an entertainer, you're the one that needs to bring that energy.
Right.
So if the crowd isn't, if they're just doing a thing where they're standing and they're watching, you need to be the one to bring the fucking hype. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's been plenty of shows where you're sitting there, you're looking out, you're like, people aren't into this, but you need to bring it.
You need to bring the energy and you can have it.
Yeah. I feel like it's super important. I see so many bands that are really fucking good, and they're feeding too much of the crowd's energy and not their own. You know what I'm saying?
That makes sense. There was a band in Vegas a long time. I was 22, and when I was 22, I was fucking crazy, right? So there was this Vegas, and they're on stage, and they have this lead singer. She's a female lead singer, and they're just kind of standing there, and they're doing their song, and they sounded really good. Well, I was drunk, so I was like, "Fuck this shit, man! I got her on stage, grabbed her microphone, and was like, rah! Just started screaming, and the band was like, "You gotta be in our band!" After the concert, she was so pissed at me. She's like, "I don't know who the fuck you think you are. Don't ever fucking talk to me again." And I was like, but your band loves me, and they want me in the band.
You should have done that.
I was born for this.
Dude, this dude fucking gets it. Absolutely.
And what's funny about that is there was an after party that she wound up going to, and it was so awkward the whole time. I was trying to flirt, and she was like, "Fuck you, dude." I was trying to flirt to kind of make it less maybe annoying for her. Anyways, that's my story. But this podcast is about Sonorous Rising. Thought it'd be funny to share. Let's play War Under the Stars, and we're gonna talk about this song right after we jam it right here on the Loud Spot with Sebastian. That's burning inside of me. Give it to magnetism.
second disease, just set it free. Get back to magnetism, arrest the condemnation, to get this liberation that's burning inside of me. Get back to magnetism, arrest the condemnation, to get this liberation.
I gotta say one thing, Stephanie. I love your voice.
Thank you so
have
much.
Such an
Thank
awesome
you.
voice for this kind of style, like and what you're doing with this. It's so fitting. And what I like about this song is I like how there was actually a part that almost sounded like it could have been starting to go metal a little bit because the way you screamed in it, you know. And very, very, very cool. You guys have to have all kinds of different influences. I know that. I know. Now he hasn't been in the band as long since you guys have written these songs, but I know you were in the hardcore scene in New York, so I can only imagine your influences and just everyone in the band probably brings a different style and a uniqueness that makes Sonorous Rising.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah.
What are some? We'll start with Stephanie. What are like some of your main influences as far as musicians or music goes?
What's really funny is, punk will always have my heart. So, I do love punk music, and all different styles. Like, I love skacore, and I love, like, early pop stuff, like with the Buzzcocks and Ramones and that kind of stuff, Stiff Little Fingers, and I love that. And I love psychobilly, like, I love the Cramps. But, I'm pretty much all over the place, because I'll sit there and I'll listen to jazz stuff from the 1920s, or like go into like more of the swing stuff in the 40s and the 30s, or I love early rock and roll. I love the rock and roll that came out of the 60s, the stuff with the first wave of British invasion, even some of the harder bands that came out in the 70s. Like my dad's a huge Zeppelin fan, the Who. So I'm kind of all over the place. I like really early hip hop too. So I'm
cool.
everywhere. But I think that maybe that's why all this stuff sounds so different, because it's like I'm coming at it from every angle you can think of.
That is awesome. And Erik, what are yours as a drummer, and just as a musician and with the band? What are some of your favorite musicians and bands that kind of inspired you to start playing music?
Well, I grew up, since I was a little kid, my mom and her boyfriend at the time really got me into Rush and Neil Peart. And ever since then, like I get like live concert DVDs, watch them all the time. And I'd watch Neil and I'd be like, I want to do that. I watched him play and his elegance and everything he did. And he was like one of my main, just really my main influence as a drummer. And that I didn't connect with, and also they did my band obviously, but I really didn't connect with a lot of other bands besides them growing up.
The beginning of that last song that we just played, you can tell that you're a really talented drummer, man. So
thank you so much.
Kudos to you. And then the hardcore scene, New York, what does that mean to you?
Well, it's kind of just the roots of where I started, because I'm from New York originally. And I went to a lot of shows. They said, get out of school early. and go
early, quote unquote.
Like, my mom's never going to listen to this, so it'll be fine. And besides, I'm a grown-ass man, right? So,
yep, that's right.
I'd like, sneak away, and I'd go to shows down at like CB's and Coleman High. And so, you know, I got to see the Grays play at Coney Island High, which is pretty funny when Stephanie mentioned that earlier. But you know, that's just kind of like I said, that this is kind of like the roots, you know, like that's kind of where I started. But very early on, I kind of moved away a bit from the hardcore. Not that I didn't like it. I loved it. I love going to shows. I love the energy. Sick of It All is still one of my favorite bands. Like I live and die for that band. You know, I breathe Sick of It All. But like really like when the noise stuff started coming out and like the post-hardcore stuff, like that's really what got me interested because that's where the musicianship really came in. So, you know, bands like Orange 9mm, Helmet. And one of the earliest bands that I saw at CB's was Lizard. And I don't know if you know that band, but it's like the vocalist was absolutely off the hook. The musicianship behind it was just driving. And I was like, oh man, that's really cool. Like I want to do that.
If I don't know who they are, I know who they are now. So thank you for sharing a cool band with me. I'm going to check them out. And I already know, I can just tell Vinnie has all kinds of different influences, I would bet.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I have, like I was saying before, I have video game composer influences. And I mean, my favorite band is actually Cardiacs, which is kind of an avant-garde prog experimental band.
I'd say that's a perfect way to describe that.
Definitely recommend them to anyone. They did so much. Like, and they're so unrecognized. Like, seriously, go listen to Cardiacs. But Cardiacs, Bad Religion, Tori Amos is a huge, huge influence on me, too. She's a beautiful fucking pianist. But yeah, no, it's like a culmination of, you know, video game, pretty classical music, and yeah.
And then we also both love Oingo Boingo and Madness, which is a lot of our ska influence that came in, which is like very near and dear to our hearts.
Yeah.
I got to ask you, Stephanie, when you started like playing this band, and did you have to develop your vocal style? You know?
Yes, because I've break before this for like the past 10 years. I've been doing old standards, jazz and swing, because I work for this really great theater school. And so I've had a lot of opportunities to do, you know, like do performances, just taking some of these old songs and actually trying to recreate the old sound. So, you know, but I wanted a punk band. And I never really had a punk voice. I sang for another band called the Wailing Ultimates for a little bit. But I was like shouting, and I wasn't happy with that. And I sing pretty all the time, but I wanted something raunchy, because there are a lot of girls who are sing raunchy and just hard and like
gravel,
bring it, you know,
in the fucking throat.
So like, I was like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna figure this out, because I can do a whole bunch of other styles. I don't just do jazz and swing. Like I do like R&B sometimes, and I've done like old country sounds sometimes.
Cool.
So I like try to change it up. But really, I mean, I just used all the stuff that I was trained to do, like, so that I was able to formulate that gravelly voice, but without hurting my throat or my vocal cords. So I use the same techniques. It's just the sound that's just different.
I think it's phenomenal that you can do that, and the fact that you can sing, you know, all these different styles and do punk. I do kind of a solo project, and it sucks, and I'm not that great. But I have my own little punk sound, and yours is way better than mine. But we'll leave it at that. I do want to play Propaganda. Man, I don't know if we're gonna have time to get. We may have time to play Dead City Riot. But that's another band that Vinnie was in. That is super good. But I do want to I want to let people know how to find you guys after we play this next song. So we're gonna get to that. This is Propaganda with Sonorous Rising.
Nation's mercenaries, slender, so foul presented.
Sonorous Rising. You guys are look. It's November 1st, and you guys are kicking off my kick-ass November. Because I got a shit ton of great bands coming on this month. As long as they don't cancel, I'm happy. Even if they do, I'm excited about the month of November. I'm excited I got to play your guys' band. You guys have been great to interview on the podcast. If people want to find Sonorous Rising, do you guys have a website? Is there merchandise you guys have? Where can they find you?
Here we go. I haven't launched this yet, but I'm going to launch this right now. We have www.sonorousrising.com. You can find all of our stuff to buy from Bandcamp. We'll link directly to Bandcamp. Our merchandise, our music for sale. Plus, you can view some of our live videos, our old, our video flyers, all that stuff. See who we played with. That kind of thing, some information about the band, how to contact us. So that's www.sonorousrising.com. We're also on Facebook, and we are on Instagram as well.
Yes, I absolutely really like your guys' music. Every time you come out with a new song, please send it to me.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Please send it to me. I want to play it.
Yeah.
I want to play it on the podcast. All right, Stephanie, are there any bands that Sonorous Rising wants to give a shout out to on the podcast? Show them some love, maybe.
Well, I definitely want to give a shout out to the Johnny Earthquake band, who is Johnny Earthquake's been playing since like the 70s, and he's got kind of like this classic rock and roll feel to it, and then does some punk stuff like mixed in with it. They're from New Hampshire. Also would like to give a shout out to the Rats. They're kind of our buddies, and our label made Sun 10 City Records, and they're a really great group of people. And I would also am very, very excited for this band called Insurrector coming out of Connecticut. They're probably one of the best bands that are around in our state right now.
Awesome. Isn't someone from the Rats also in a band called the Damn Broads or something like that?
Yes, their guitar player was unfortunately the Damn Broads are no longer a band. They broke up. But their guitarist is the guitarist for the Rats, Inez. She's perfect. She's wonderful.
Inez, I think I pronounced her name on my podcast when I played their song. I think I said Ines. God, I'm so stupid sometimes. Like, I don't know how to pronounce people's names. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I was like, Ines from the Rats. I'm pretty sure I said that. That rings a bell. But you know what? I mean, yeah, I get that now. Thanks. Thank you. People need to send me their names with, like, how to say it, pronounce it also. Because I'm like, I don't know. I'm just going to give it my best shot here, and see what happens.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's been a pleasure having you guys on the podcast. I want to thank you for being on here. I want to thank all the bands that give me the opportunity to interview them, to play their music, and I hope everyone has a great week, and peace out, everybody. We're done.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you.